Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Group 4, BGY3101, Plant Diversity. We'll present about the most innovation. So we move to the next slide. For the first presenter, we have Nuralya, and she's going to present about the characteristic of moss. For the second presenter, we have Balqis. She will share with us about the problem that being faced by the moss on the land. And last but not least, we have Farah and Mira. They're going to present about the innovation of bryophyte to survive on land. So without further ado, let's begin with the characteristic of moss.
Okay, thank you, Haikal. Okay, here's is the characteristic of the moss. Moss actually have multicellular rhizode, which is a root-like subterranean tissue that absorbs water and nutrients from the soil. And moss also have radial symmetry. It helps stomata on their sporophyte. And moss also do not have true leaves, stem, and tissue. Moss also lack of vascular tissue. It have a leaf-like structure called fillets, and moss is mostly have one cell thick, and it live in damp area, and usually it undergo asexual reproduction. Thank you.
Okay, so the fact that moss comes from water, so they will have problems to adapt on land. The first problem is they will have to combat dryness, and this is because of the heat. Therefore, mosses will always have to try and seek for a source of water so that they can return to their original green appearance. Second is that they will need to have an alternative for reproduction on land, because in water, the sperm can swim as usual to fertilize the female gamete. And also because on land, the gametes, both the male and female gametes will face a risk of desiccation, which is drying out. The third problem is lack of structural support, and that is because land is not the same medium as water. Therefore, it does not provide buoyancy. It does not provide the same lift as water. And lastly, protection of embryo from desiccation, which is the same thing, because the embryo will face the same risk as the gametes, which is drying out, and that will prevent from perfect reproduction. Thank you.
All right, for the innovations of bryophyte to survive on land, to be able to live on land, bryophyte have to generate those adaptation to land. So firstly, they have waxy cuticles to protect plant tissue from drying out. Eventually, the bryophytes will develop a waxy cuticle to prevent the plant tissue from drying out. Cuticles is a protective covering in the outside of plant that are made by lipids that do not allow the water to leave the body of the plant. And second is the gametengia provides further protections against drying out, specifically for the plant's gametes. The gametengia is a tissue that would surround them to protect the gametes, which is egg and sperm, so that they do not dry out and die before they are ready to be released.
Okay, let's go to the next point, which is in terms of reproduction. Okay, the embryonic development, which is the important situation that links them to the vascular land plant. Also, spores are dispersed by the wind. Here, the male gametes of bryophyte, which is Enterodia, are free-swimming sperm cells that need water to transport them to the female gametes, which is Archegonia. So these are dispersed most commonly by wind, and if they land in a suitable environment, can develop into a new gametophyte. Thus, bryophyte dispersed by a combination of swimming sperm and spores. That's all. Thank you.
So this is the moss sample that was collected at SMKA Johor Bahru near Park. So this is the sample. Next slide. So we have arrived at the last slide. So basically we have talked about the three key takeaways, which are the characteristic of moss problem on land, and lastly about the innovation of bryophyte that face to survive on land. So last but not least, we want to thank all of you for lend us your ear, and we hope all of you can understand about this presentation. Feel free to ask anything. So that's all from us. Thank you.